Hey, Thanksgiving is next week, and the folks at Kith and Kin are ready to step up and help when it comes to having the perfect Thanksgiving meal. Because a lot of people, families gather together, they do some cooking and stuff like that, and then there's some things that just don't get cooked, or they get slipped up, in the back, or you forget about, or there's just so much going on, So why don't you let Kith and Kin take care of the dinner rolls and the dessert? So go by today or online through their website, and you have to do this before Saturday, but you can order pumpkin pie cheesecake, which is absolutely delicious, by the way, maple pecan pie, pumpkin pie, apple caramel pie, pumpkin rolls, or a bag of a dozen dinner rolls. And they bake all of that fresh in the bakery there at Kith and Kin. So you have to order before Saturday, because Monday they'll be baking everything for the orders that will be picked up Tuesday. Tuesday they'll be baking for all the orders that will be picked up on Wednesday, so that you'll have the pies and you'll have the rolls, and you'll be the hero at your Thanksgiving feast next week. So, but you got to order.
Don't forget to put flour on your nose so it looks like you did it yourself.
That's correct. So we'll be encouraging folks to do that. Go by Kith and Kin. They're in downtown Artesia. But again, you can order online or in person, but the last day to order is Saturday, because once they get to Saturday, they close it down. They'll order in all the supplies that they need, and then they'll do the baking. And they'll call you when your order's ready to go, so you can come by and pick it up. So
sounds good.
Kith and Kin, they're ready to help you out this Thanksgiving. Well, Nancy, how are you today?
I am really good.
Good. Thanksgiving is next week.
Yes, it is.
Can you believe it?
Well, at our church, we're having the Love Feast Friday night on the 19th, and it just dawned on me as I was walking out the door, I'm supposed to make cornbread. And I have no milk and no eggs, so I'm driving in thinking, you just can't make cornbread without milk and eggs, so guess who gets to go to the store when I get done here?
Yeah.
So, anyway, yeah. Before I figured that out, I was having a good day.
Well, I'm sure you'll find what you need and get it all.
Yes, I'll get it done. I've just kind of lost track of time, and yeah, it is what it is.
Whole family recipe?
It is what it is.
Or is it just the way you've made cornbread all these?
It's just the way we've made cornbread all the ways. We make the dressing, and we go through the whole 9 yards, and my son fries the turkey, and my daughter is making a turkey, and I make the dressing and the gravy. Somehow or another, several years ago, I got out my crock pot, and I threw a bunch of stuff for the gravy in the crock pot so I could keep it warm, and I had this idea in my head. Well, the kids absolutely loved it.
Uh-oh.
And to me, it ended up being more like a soup than gravy.
Yeah.
But every year, that has to be made, and every year my crock pot has to get a little bit bigger so that everybody can take some home.
You remembered what you threw in there that first time,
Yes, I
right?
remember what I threw in there.
Okay.
And I really ought to write it down.
I was going to say.
Because the day is coming when I won't
somebody else is going to need to make it.
Yes.
Yeah. So.
Yes. And it's not a secret, but it's just, I thought, how in the world did I manage to ever come up with this in the first place?
Yeah.
But especially my granddaughter that lives over in Alamogordo, she wants a whole big thing of it, and she doesn't let her husband have any of it. And it's almost a battle over who gets. And if they're standing there watching, no, you can't take that much. So it's crazy.
That's funny. Well, there's a couple things around town that are like that for me. For example, the potato salad on the buffet at La Fonda.
Yes.
And you mentioning the dressing ordeal has reminded me that I need to go over and order a couple pints of that potato salad, because that is just, if I go and have buffet at La Fonda and I see that on the buffet, I'll probably only eat that. Because it's so good. But you have different things. You mentioned cornbread earlier. I don't know if you remember, years ago there was a chain of chicken restaurants, Kenny Rogers Roasters. And they had one in El Paso, and Lana and I would drive down to El Paso to go to the Kenny Rogers Roasters, and the chicken was good. But we went for the cornbread. They had like awesome cornbread. I don't know where that recipe came from, but that was like the best cornbread.
And cornbread is one of those things. It can be the best or the worst thing you've ever tasted.
Yeah,
So
yeah. And we lived in the South for a couple of years and had Southern cornbread, which is pretty darn good. You know.
And the different ways that people make dressing does the same thing. There's some
Yeah.
of it that I just can't handle.
Yeah.
And then some of it's good. I like mine.
But you go from your favorite cornbread or your favorite dressing, and then there's the cranberry sauce. Is it in the can? You know, you just open up the can and squeeze it out onto the plate, and it's still there in the form of the can.
Yeah, mine is. I don't do the whole make your own corn sauce stuff.
No, I'm with you there. Let me ask you this: Thanksgiving is it's one of the busiest travel days.
Yes, it is.
Travel weekends of the year. There's a lot of family gatherings, people watching NFL football on Sundays. Has it tended to be a drinking and driving problem?
Oh, absolutely.
Compared to some other holidays?
Absolutely, and most of it is due to the fact there's so much more traffic out there. People tend to get a little bit stressed and eat too much turkey and get sleepy, and it's one of the highest death rates of all the holidays. And I was looking that up the other day, and you know what another big one is? Halloween. And I had never even considered Halloween.
Yeah.
And I was reading it, and most of that is the deaths caused by running over kids, not being careful, but when you add alcohol to that figure, you've got a real mess on your hands. And I just wanted to bring that out this morning, that you don't want to spend your weekend in jail. Another family doesn't want to spend their holiday weekend at the mortuary. So this is a really good time to stop and think about what you're doing and put some... Is today the day you want to ruin somebody's life? Is today the day you want to ruin your own family's life? Mm-hmm. Is that drink that important to you? If it is, you've got a problem. And that problem needs to be addressed before anything else is. But just give everybody a break this weekend. Let's bring those numbers down and show that we can do that. We're better than this. We can do this.
Yeah.
I was sitting at in the parking lot at one of our grocery stores. I was watching my grandkids. My daughter was taking a moment to go to the store by herself. So when you have children, yes, when you have children, you understand that.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm sitting there, and this pickup pulls up, and obviously a crew cab. The guy's getting ready to go to work. And they go in. I didn't pay that much attention to them. And then this van pulls up beside us, and this lady jumps out of the car, and she grabs her child out of the back seat. And the kids got all excited because it was a cute little baby. All this stuff's going on. And a little bit, another pickup comes up. Well, pretty soon, they start coming out. And the first one that comes out had a 12-pack of beer and a 6-pack of bottled beer. And I'm putting it in the cooler in the back, and
right.
I'm thinking, here's my DWI coming out.
Yeah.
Not a good idea.
Right.
Not a good idea at all.
In the back, yeah.
Well, that was the pickup, and then the car. The lady comes back out, and she just puts this baby in the back seat, jumps in the front seat, puts her seatbelt on. Well, my two grandkids, Mimi, she didn't put them in a seatbelt.
Yeah. So you put them in the seat, but not buckled in.
She just didn't buckle, not a seat, not a child seat or anything.
Yeah. And
they're just absolutely my granddaughter's in tears. And I'm thinking, my daughter's done something right here. She's taught these kids how important it is to keep those seatbelts on.
Yep.
But then she comes around the corner, and she's on her cell phone. And I'm going, okay, all right.
Driving the car,
child not in a seatbelt. And I'm thinking...
Talking on the cell phone.
Come on, people.
These are all things that individually by themselves may not mean much or may not be a factor, but you add all of that together, You're not paying attention because you're having a phone conversation. And we've talked about this before, and I'm guilty of it too.
Yeah.
I've got the Bluetooth in the car.
Uh-huh.
If you're talking on the phone, you're not paying attention. I can't tell you how many times I've been on a phone conversation, finish the conversation, and I go, when did we go to 70 miles an hour?
Yeah. Or did I stop at that stop sign?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was so busy on the phone, which I don't do that much because, when everybody knows I'm half blind, you got to pay a little more attention. You just do.
Yeah.
But, and I'm watching this all take place, and then the other guys come out, and they have beer, and they're putting it in there and put it in there with their food and everything. Well, this other pickup over here, these guys come out. They have Cokes and sodas and whatever, not necessarily Cokes, but sodas, and then they put their food in and they jump in and they go the direction. And I'm sitting there, and my thought was choices.
Mm-hmm.
This person has made some very bad choices, or these people, and these people over here made good choices. And we're constantly telling our kids, make good choices.
Yep.
Make good choices.
Yeah.
And I remember my grandson saying, well, what if we don't even know what our choices are?
Oh, no, you know what your choices are.
Well, he was like in the second grade.
Okay.
He said, but Mimi, I don't know what my choices are.
Okay.
I want to make right choices, but I don't know. And I just had to slow down and explain that those are something that we learn.
Yeah, that mom and dad has to help with that. So.
But when you get to be the age where you're driving a vehicle,
Mm-hmm.
you should have already figured out what your choices are.
Yeah.
A vehicle is a deadly weapon, and driven in the wrong hands, we have high rates of people getting killed at Thanksgiving, high rates of people getting killed at Christmas, all because of bad choices. And I also began to realize that a lot of the bad choices are being made by people that have had multiple DWIs.
They keep making the same bad choice.
Keep making the same bad choice. What's wrong with this picture?
Yeah.
Why do they even have a vehicle available to them?
Yeah.
I was talking to one lady quite some time ago, and she said, well, it's just easier to let him go when he's drinking.
Well, that doesn't make it right.
That doesn't make it right, and that makes it dangerous. That makes some of the responsibility you took on when you just let him go.
I'm going to make a comment here, probably get in trouble for this.
Okay.
But I'm going to make a comment here. But if we focused as much effort on the drunk driving problem as we're focusing on forcing people to get a vaccine just to have a job.
Absolutely.
If we took some of that focus off and said we're really going to address repeat offenders, the drinking and driving problem that we have, because it hits close to home all the time.
Yes.
We all know people who have families who are victims, family members who are victims of drunk drivers.
Absolutely.
Either seriously injured or killed. But you got to have a vaccine to work in a job.
Yeah.
But we're going to let repeat offenders continue to get behind the wheel of a car and potentially kill other people. OSHA is going to enforce a vaccine mandate, but we've got drinking and driving going on all the time on our streets.
And have had for how many years?
Yeah.
This whole mess.
Yeah.
Is my time up?
Yep, we're out of time. Anything else?
No. That went fast.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it was all the talk of the cranberry sauce.
Oh, yes.
Well, have a happy Thanksgiving.
You too, and I'll see you the next time.
All right, Nancy, thank you so much. We are out of time.